Hello. I'd like to welcome you. I know that probably people are getting kind of tired of these little snippets, but it's pretty important to me, as I've commented, some of the videos may not have been posted yet. I've done so much recording, and I'm just trying to lay foundational understandings to help as I really start pushing forward. So I know, like, man, what are all these little videos? I thought he said a podcast. Just because he has a screen behind him and it says Beyond the System podcast doesn't make it a podcast. Um, you're right. I think right now, as I've stated, I'm just going through the growth, going through the point of trying to become comfortable, become something that is just a natural experience for me, it feels to me like I really have um, started to just grow into this comfort zone that is truly happy for me because I was concerned a little bit of how moving forward this would go. Most things, when I embrace and I turn it over to, I'll call it God, to a higher source, um, it just comes natural. Anytime I'd publicly speak, um, I would just ask, for the blessings, and the ability to say the things that needed to be said. I would go with minimal notes, maybe a quick guide to just make sure I covered the basic topics, but it would just flow. And maybe I rambled, at the end of it, it almost is like you start and then the next thing you know, it's done. And you're like, it's kind of like driving from one place to the next at times for some of us. So anyway, thank you again for your continuing tolerating. Probably a lot of these early videos won't even be watched by many. I know that as I build out my platforms, a lot of my friends and family, are following and liking my pages, which is great. And thank you. I do appreciate the support. How much of it actually is getting ingested into them. You never know because truly, the way that social media works, if it's not in the algorithms, it's not going to come across their wall. I will say also, I know that with a name like Beyond the System, it already probably gets flagged as something that suppress this knowledge a little bit, just because of there is that concern of what content might be being pushed, on people. Um, for example, even trying to create my X account. I'm not an X user typically, but trying to embrace a little bit more. I've been a technology person for so long, but it would not allow me to choose the name Beyond the System. It actually then changed my name to my name for me, which was great. So then I had to figure out how to change the name. And again, it just kept denying Beyond the System. So I had to go with Beyond TS podcast, or just because that's what I had to do. They would not allow that type of a name. So again, that's just the structure. That's the systems in place, and I would love to think that you know certain people that are in control, of these social media platforms are um, hopefully actually giving us the ability to have that free voice, but it's obvious there's constraints there. So, I wish I had an open mic with Elon, and I would say, hey man, why, if you're such a person who cares about humanity, and I say that projecting that onto him. I'm not saying he does or that people believe that, or even that I believe that. But if you are, then why are you, things like having me have a voice with a platform? I don't understand the system that being, and comes down to again how tight it is for his keepers. Being our U.S. government. So that being said, I'm rambling as always. Um, I have a little bit of truth bomb here. I'm constantly doing research. I try to follow a path of, um, guidance, where I feel led by my heart and by spirit to kind of dig in and address the knowledge and information and research. And I like to be accurate in things that I share. It's pretty important for me to make sure that I am covering my basis. I know I'm going to say things that are not 100% correct, or I didn't probably do as good a job digging in and researching. I was excited about getting some knowledge and information out there, and maybe did not dig deep enough to find all of the facts. And I find enough that I'm happy with, and call it good. Generally speaking, I would like to say that's probably how most things go in regards to um, people that quote scriptures. They don't really, they just find words that align with what they're trying to get a point across with, and because the words fit, that's what that means. I hope that that's minimal. But at what point do you say, okay, I'm satisfied? Especially when you're using tools like the internet, which is truly, I think, in large control of the keepers. So this particular topic, and it's nuggets. It's fruit, low hanging fruit that has been exposed to me and shown. I digging for a podcast, and something I come across was um, Christ, and I was just studying things um, to do with Christ, and what that meant. And I know from my experience in Christianity that Christ, Jesus claimed, or what we refer to as Jesus, Yeshua. I'd like to refer to him myself. Yeshua. It was claimed that he said he was the Christ. And I was kind of digging through different things and oil and various things that will be in a future podcast. But when I started to really dig back and kind of try to understand what Christ meant, not just what Jesus said he was the Christ. What was Christ? What was it before Jesus? What might he been implying? And something I come across was a pre Yeshua. Christ was kind of an action of anointment. It was something that was used to anoint. It was used to anoint kings, so they would be Christed into that authority. Priests as well. Priests were anointed into that power, that position of power. Something else that come across was some another of that time was prophets. Prophets were also something that were they were Christed. The things with prophets, and this may make people mad a little bit, but I like to call a prophet a wizard. To me, a wizard was somebody who had parallels to what in the Christianity beliefs. Wizards had them same type of you know I guess skills, powers, if you will. And I think that unfortunately it was okay for Christianity to have prophets, but the rest of the beliefs, they couldn't. They couldn't have wizards. They couldn't have those things that might have foresight into stuff. So just one of them strange things. Not the point of this. Now, um, Christ, wizards were one of the um, few that could actually tell a king that he was wrong. So he kind of was working outside of um, the authority. He had his own sovereignty. He was not beholden to the system that created that stronghold over civilizations at that time. So just something really that was interesting to me. I again, what does it mean? I'm not saying it means anything to most. Most people are, this guy talking about Christ again. I promise you, I'm bringing this back full circle eventually. I'm coming to spirituality, and truly, I will tie for me bringing Christ back to, I believe, what he originally was, and that was a spiritualist. The Essenes, it wasn't Christianity. He didn't. Yeshua did not claim, I am a Christian. He was an Essene. And for those that don't understand, please again dig in. If you're a Christian, understand that what you know is what you've been led to know. So I think it's very important, and these are the things that are important to me to say. Why are we not doing our own digging? So, Anyway, that's all that really was the point. Jesus claiming he was the Christ, I believe, was a state of saying, you know what, um, I am in love. In a sense, he's here on behalf of God. We can say what he said all day long, but I think the point of it is he claimed his sovereignty, and he claimed it through saying, I am the I am." That point is where we take back control, when we recognize that, um, we are what we claim and what we allow and what we choose. Yes, we're the sum of our experiences and all of that, but those are choices. So choose to be something different. The only way we make a change in this world, and move forward and make that point of existence, that that point of existence where our children and their children and our grandchildren and our descendants have a better world, is when we choose to do something about what's going on. I'm not saying kick out, or let's get all of our guns together. That's not the answer. That's not. I think you can come with force, and that's more of the same. That's the same stuff that has us in the place that we are. So, again, in love and in peace, I just bring you knowledge, low hanging fruit, things that, I will be tying together, but just trying to find little shorts that might be able to drop some interest.